Welcome to On the Edge with JP Devine from Central Maine Sunday. On the Edge with JP Devine audio is made possible by our subscribers like you. Thank you for listening and supporting local journalism in Central Maine. Now here's JP Devine.
Hail the barber. When I was first old enough to sit in a barber chair, I was never truly frightened. I was told around Christmas trees, at Thanksgiving dinner table and garden parties, I did not scream or cry. Good boy. Stoically, not a word used in my neighborhood, I sat there with my eyes closed, hearing the clipping of the scissors, the whirring of the big black fan in the corner, and the conversation between my father and Joe. Joe, the family and neighborhood barber, operated alone. His name was Joe, and that's the only name I ever called him. He was just Joe the barber. I don't think I had ever known his last name. The only funny story I have about Joe was a family one. I was dating Rosemary DeBranco then and was always broke. One day, sat reading for a minute, and when the only one customer left, I whispered, Joe, could you loan me $2 or maybe only one or half a buck? Joe folded his last cover and quietly, with a smile, replied, you know, your brothers hit on me every Friday. And then he added, and they still owe me about $20. Well, here I am all these years later, after haircuts in Japan, Okinawa, New York City, and 8 other American states later, in a brand new, shiny Waterville, getting my still full head of hair trimmed by a new Joe the barber. Here, my barber is Joe Richards of Winslow, Maine, who has been cutting my silver locks since they were black, with strings of gray. Yes, Joe, a stylist, has been my Joe the barber for 37 years. His story. In 1973, Joe went to get his hair cut by his Uncle Frank in downtown Atlanta at the Lion's Den barbershop in Peachtree Plaza. After months of drifting around, Uncle Frank growled, you know, you got to go to barber school and come to work for me. I need help. My new Joe found a barber school in a rundown, poor section of Atlanta that gave free haircuts to the homeless. 9 months later, he graduated, took his diploma with the ink still wet, and went to work for Uncle Frank. At the time, I had a girlfriend, Susan from Maine, now his wife, Joe explains, who said, I'm going back to Maine. You coming? In Waterville, Joe found work at the Village Barbers in 1976 and took his diploma, new scissors, and went to work for Ron St. Amand. Soon after, St. Amand sold out to the new kid in town, and headquarters at 113 Main Street was born. From this Joe, I got more than a couple of bucks. Joe Richards, hearing that I couldn't find a reasonable house painter, sent me his. Who got the job done? When I told Joe that after 3 years of COVID, we couldn't find a wonderful cleaning ready, Joe the barber made a call on the spot and got me Dina, who now cleans our house. As of today, I have been sitting in Joe's chair for 37 years and will probably get my last haircut there. Thanks you to both Joes.
Thanks for listening to On the Edge with JP Devine. On the Edge with JP Devine audio is made possible by our subscribers like you. Thank you for supporting local journalism in Central Maine.